Graham Stuart Staines tanggal 18 Januari tahun 1941 sampai 23 Januari tahun 1999, adalah seorang misionaris Kristen Australia yang bekerja di India sejak tahun 1965. Ia bersama dengan dua putranya, Philip berusia 10 tahun, dan Timothy, berusia 6 tahun, dibakar sampai mati di India oleh aktivis Dara Singh pada tanggal 23 Januari 1999. Dara Singh dinyatakan bersalah atas pembunuhan tersebut dan dijatuhi hukuman penjara seumur hidup. Staines telah bekerja di Odisha sejak tahun 1965 sebagai bagian dari organisasi misionaris evangelis bernama Mayurban Leprosy Home, merawat orang-orang yang menderita kusta dan merawat orang-orang suku di daerah yang hidup dalam kemiskinan. Namun, beberapa kelompok Hindu menuduh bahwa selama waktu ini ia telah memikat atau memaksa banyak orang Hindu untuk percaya pada iman Kristen.
तू जो करने आया है ना, वो काम कर, लोगों की सेवा कर, उनकी गंध साफ कर.
Komisi Fatwa menemukan bahwa meskipun beberapa suku telah dibaptis di Kam-Kam, tidak ada bukti konversi paksa.
So on that night of the 23rd of January, which was halfway through the camp, a mob of people came in about just after 12 with torches and sticks and beat the vehicle and then set the vehicles on fire. I believe they had actually tried to escape, but it was not possible. The rest of the campers were really afraid. As you can imagine, there's no electricities. It was new moon, so the dead of night, dark as anything. A mob of people. I think most people would be frightened, and so they ran away. Those who did want to come out of their houses and to help, they found their houses had been bolted from the outside.
I heard noises. When I got up, I heard the screams of a child. I tried to come out of the house myself, but 3 people at my door said they would kill me if I did.
So that apparently they couldn't escape, so they died. It appears that it was a planned attack. They planned to go and disturb the Christians, is what we heard. There has been one person that's been called the main accused, and initially he was given the death sentence, which was commuted to life imprisonment. When I think back on it, I said to Esther, actually it was only within a few hours of them actually being killed that day, and it was probably a couple of hours after about 4 hours after I'd heard the initial news that the jeeps had been burnt, though I didn't know what had happened to the family. Esther said to me, "Mummy, what is the news?" And she was 13 at the time, and I said, "It seems like we've been left alone." And that was sort of how I broke the news to her. But we will forgive. I think I said, "Won't we?" And she said, "Yes, Mummy, we will." And so again, those words at that time, "I will forgive," I think started a healing process in my own life, because if we forgive, we can't allow bitterness to come in. I survived the pain that followed the deaths of my 3 family members, only by God's grace, I say.
लेकिन उन्होंने क्यों मारा?
My husband has spent his entire life in serving those people. The people who killed my husband, they themselves don't know what they have done. I have forgiven them. God, you also please forgive them.
After, initially I probably, you go into shock, you go into disbelief. But God really enabled me to, that didn't happen to start with, in a sense. It did, but it didn't. And But I do remember sometime later when all the crowds had died down and there weren't so many people around, I remember just absolutely weeping to the very depths of my heart where, you know, it was like my whole being was coming out. I think the journey of forgiveness is an ongoing journey in a sense. It's certainly when I forgave the very first, in the very first instance, I guess you could say, I believe that set me on a longer journey. The words I forgive were like starting a healing process. And ever since that time I've had a picture in my mind of, like two pictures really, but a picture, you know, when it's dry and barren and a drought. You have dry, parched, cracked land, which we have in few places in Australia at the moment. And then when it rains, that's like the land receives healing and all the cracks heal up and it bursts into, you know, freshness and flowers and grass.
So what is it? This is Graham here and Timothy here.
So even though Exodus says an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, Jesus said in his teaching, he said, though it is written, which means it's referring back to the Old Testament, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. I say, but love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who persecute you. And you know, in Romans it says, Romans chapter 12, it says, bless those who persecute you, and seek to live in harmony with one another.